Latias and Latias, the Eon duo, will be making its Dynamax debut in Pokemon GO this weekend. But are you ready for this event? Do you even know if these Pokemon are even good in this game, and are they even worth going after this weekend? This is Go With Us, and this is your Max Battle Weekend Ultimate Guide. Shh. Let's get dates out of the way. From 6 a.m. on Saturday the 26th all the way until Sunday the 27th at 9 p.m. local time, Dynamax Latias and Latios will be in max battles. Guys, going live on Monday the 21st at 6 a.m. A free timed research will go live, and the main reward there is going to be a Dynamax Ghastly, which is very important, and we're going to touch on that at the end. On to the bonuses very quickly. The max particle limit is going to be increased to 1600. We only have to walk 500 meters to get 300 max particles. Power spots will refresh more frequently, so about every half hour. But a massively overlooked bonus every single time these raid weekends come about is the 3/4 max particle cost for unlocking and powering up max moves. That's huge because it takes candies, XL candies, as well as max particles to do all of these things. Great, details are out of the way, but how good are Dynamax Latias and Latios in Pokemon GO? Well guys, let's start off with Latias. Latias has a max CP of 3986, an attack of 228, which is solid, a defense of 246, which is very good, a stamina of 190, which is just below average, the fast attacks it has access to, and bear in mind here, these are Dynamax Pokemon, not Gigantamax Pokemon, so the fast move is important. It has access to Dragon Breath, which is a half a second fast move, it has Zen Headbutt, which is 1 second, and Charm, which is 1.5 seconds, unfortunately. The charge moves it has access to is going to be Thunder, Psychic, Outrage, and Mist Ball. Let's move on to Latios now. Latios has a max CP of 4310, which is very strong, an attack, which is pretty much a reverse, if you like, of the Latias. It has attack value of 268, a defense of 212, and a stamina of 190. The fast attacks it has access to is going to be Dragon Breath, as well as Zen Headbutt. Bear in mind, Dragon Breath is at 0.5 second fast move. The charge moves it has access to is going to be Dragon Claw, Psychic, Solar Beam, which is a nuke, and Luster Purge, which is a legacy move. Because Latias and Latios are both Psychic and Dragon type Pokemon, it means that we need to look at their weaknesses because they both share the same types. They both are weak to Bug, Dark, Dragon, Fairy, Ghost, and Ice. So when it comes to both of them, which are the best Pokemon to try and take these things down? Let's start off with our attacker list. These are the Pokemon that are going to do the most damage, particularly in the Dynamax phase. Undoubtedly, number one is going to be G-Max Gengar with a G-Max Terror. This Pokemon is outperforming every other attacker quite significantly, so if you do have a G-Max Gengar, it's definitely going to be your best attacker. Next in line is going to be D-Max Gengar with Max Phantasm. Remember, you're going to need Lick as the fast move there. Crown Sword Zacian is going to be in there with Behemoth Blade because it's just a very, very overpowered attacker. Because these Pokemon are doing attacking damage, two things need to be considered here. The first one is the Pokemon's level. I would strongly suggest that your attacker is at least at level 35, depending on how big your group is. The other thing that's very important to consider here as well is that your max attack move needs to be leveled up to level 3, and bear in mind, because of that 3/4 cost of one of the bonuses, it's a great time to do that. G-Max Gengar, as we've just shown you, is doing the most amount of damage, but it's very important that when that D-Max phase finishes to get back into your tank, because guys, G-Max Gengar as well as D-Max Gengar are very glassy, and it could get one-shotted by any psychic type move. Very important to remember that. But as we know, we cannot do attacking damage unless we start off with our tank. Which Pokemon do we start the battle with to tank as much damage as possible? Undoubtedly, the best tanks you could use is going to be, of course, D-Max Blissey with Pound because of that half a second charge move. Crown Sword Zacian as well as Crown Shield Zamazenta are going to be excellent choices, probably for the foreseeable future, because they can resist a lot of moves. But more importantly, with Zamazenta, for example, if you have Max Gar leveled up all the way to level 3, you're going to be taking huge resisted damage on top of what it already resists. But a huge mention, and one that should be on your team, is going to be Metagross, specifically with the fast move Fury Cutter, which is a half a second, which means it's going to charge the Dynamax meter a lot faster, but more importantly, it's taking so much resist damage as well, so this is a really good tank to use. Whenever we use tanks or defensive Pokemon, you really want to try and have that Max Guard leveled up to level 3. We're going to leave an example of what we've done to Zamazenta, for example, on screen right now. This is really going to help your party take reduced damage. Once you defeat Dynamax Latias and Latios, you're going to get an encounter, and that encounter does have a shiny boost, and I believe it should be about 1 in 20 on these days. Keep in mind the 100% IVs for Latios, it's going to be 2178, and for Latias, it's going to be 2006. Now that we know how to take down Latias and Latios, how good are they in Pokemon Go, and are they even worth our time? Well, because they're a Psychic and Dragon Pokemon, let's look at them as Psychic D-Max attackers. Guys, I can tell you right now that Latias and Latios are currently in the upper echelon. In fact, Latios is beating out Metagross finally. Metagross has been beaten, and at level 40 and level 50, Latios is about 10 to 12% better than Metagross as a Psychic attacker. Although what is interesting is that Latios is about 30 to 40% better than Latias. So you can see how strongly that attack value is coming in now. Latios and Latios are well ahead of Charizard in the Dragon type category, so probably for about a month until we see Eternatus, these are going to be the best Dragon types to use. And because Latias has access to Charm, which is a Fairy type move, if we look in the Fairy type category, the only thing it's really going up against is Hatterene, and right now Hatterene at level 40 as well as level 50 is going to be again about 30 to 40% better. So what does this mean? Overall, I would say Latios is definitely going to be the one to go after more frequently, just because of that base attack stat. It's going to have way more utility for you in this game. As tanks, Latias could be used in some niche cases, but I don't think these Pokemon are going to be very relevant going forward, especially with Eternatus on its way. Therefore, that leaves us with our battle strategy. What team are we going to use? I would strongly recommend going in there with the Metagross with that Fury Cutter. I'm definitely going to bring along my Zamazenta because it has that Max Guard leveled up and it's going to be taking resistant damage, and my attacker, as we discussed, is undoubtedly going to be G-Max Gengar or D-Max Gengar. That is probably going to be our team. Top tip time. We have 3 tips on this day that you should really focus on if you really want to maximize the rewards. Please have a Mega level 3 Dragon or Psychic type Pokemon running in the background the whole time. You won't be battling with this Pokemon, but it's not about that. It's about the candy returns every single time you catch one of these Pokemon. As we know, a level 3 Dragon or Psychic type Pokemon is going to grant you an extra 25% extra XL candy chance, which is massive on top of 2 bonus candy. And it doesn't end there for candy gains. Once you defeat either Latias or Latios at these power spots, I want you to leave your Pokemon in there, maybe even Latias itself, to get the candy over time. That's a huge tip we wanted to mention. And number 3, and this gets overlooked every single time, and I don't really know why, guys, the rewards from these max battles. I know these are 5-star battles and not necessarily G-Max 6-star battles, but guys, the rewards are absolutely broken. Please put on a star piece as well as a lucky egg. Every single time you complete one of these raids, you're getting upwards of about 50,000 XP with those lucky eggs running, and on the Stardust side of things, you're getting over 25,000 every single raid. Guys, please do not sleep on that. It's absolutely broken. These days are unmatched in terms of how you can really utilize these bonuses. That is Dynamax Latias and Latios raid weekend wrapped up fully for you guys. We broke down every single detail that you would really need to know, and believe me, these are the best strategies to help you take these things down as easy as possible. If you guys want to see anything that's going on in Pokemon Go this week that you might have mentioned, please check it out at the end screen on my left right now. Appreciate you being here. Love your support, guys. Smash that like and subscribe button. It's the way to tell the YouTube machine that you are loving our content. The channel is growing. We're going to show you the numbers soon. Love you guys. Go with us, and we'll catch you in the next one, baby. Shh.